Hi 7th graders, we are now going to do lesson 3, session 2, understanding proportional relationships. Now this is a lot like the lesson we just did, where we want to ask ourselves, how do we get from here to here? And is that the same thing throughout the whole thing? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The table shows how many gallons of water Vita uses for showers of different numbers of minutes. So if, I don't know if Vita is a he or a she, but I'm going to say it's a she. If she is in the shower for 1 minute, she uses 2 gallons. She's in there for 2 minutes, she'll use 4, 6, 8, so on and so forth, okay? So, is this a proportional relationship? That's what A is asking. If it's proportional, that means I can multiply this, all by the same number to get all the other gallons. So how do I get from 1 to 2? I multiply it by 2. How do I get from 2 to 4? If I can multiply it by 2, it works. Yes. How about 3 to 6? Yes. 4 to 8, 5 to 10, 6 to 12. Okay, so if I can multiply all of them by the same number and still get all the answers, that it means it's a proportional relationship. That is good news for us. Oops, sorry guys. Let's see. We were in lesson 3. Okay. So how does the table show a proportional relationship? Well, all of the ratios in the table are equivalent. E, Q, U, I, V, A, L, E, N, T. You 7th graders out there who can spell really, really freakishly well are probably all laughing at me and shaking your heads like, oh my gosh, Mrs. Ringler, are you serious right now? Yeah, I am serious, I'm sorry. Okay, can't spell. What is the unit rate for gallons of water per minute? So 1 minute is the same as 2 gallons of water. That's the unit rate. When ratios are equivalent, they all have the same unit rate. In a proportional relationship, the unit rate is called a constant of proportionality. Constant means something happens all the time. Is there a constant of proportionality to the relationship of gallons of water to the minutes of showering? Yes. Isn't the constant a 2? The 2 constantly goes through. So it is 2. Easy. D. Use the constant of proportionality to write an equation that shows the number of gallons of water used, and use G, during a shower for M minutes long. Basically, what I'm asking is, can I now go find how many gallons of water I will use no matter how many minutes? Let's say I'm in the shower for 30 minutes. I know that my constant of proportionality says times everything by 2, so if I take 30 times 2, that means I use 60 gallons of water. What if you're like my husband and you're literally in the shower for what feels like 90 minutes? Sorry, Zach, but I mean, he's not really, but it sure feels like it sometimes. 90 minutes times 2, 180 gallons. Okay? Basically what we're doing is we're taking the time, or minutes, which is an M, and we're timesing it by 2 to get our gallons. So we're taking minutes, we're timesing it by 2 to get our gallons. There's an equation. What is the unit rate for minutes per gallon of water? Okay, so I want to say minutes per means per means what? Divide. What is minutes per gallon? Minutes per gallon. 1/2. Per means divide, and right, fractions mean divide as well. 1/2. What is the constant of proportionality for the relationship of minutes of showering to gallons of water? Write an equation that shows the length of a shower in minutes based on using G gallons of water. So if I use my unit rate that I just found, okay, I could say my unit rate is 1/2 times G equals our minutes. Now, if you guys know algebra, you would know that that was super easy to find. But since you guys haven't had algebra yet, I'm sure that was a little confusing, that last question. Let me give you a quick little tutorial on what algebra is. If you don't understand it, don't worry, we haven't done it yet. But if you do understand it by some chance, it might be nice to see. The first equation we found was this one up here. M times 2 equals G. We also write that as 2M equals G. That's how we actually write multiplication problems in algebra. I want to find M all by itself. How do I solve that? Well, I've got to get rid of the 2. What's happening to the M right now? It's being multiplied by 2. So to get rid of the 2, we do the opposite. So the opposite of being multiplied by 2 is to be divided by 2. And that would get rid of it. But if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. So now I have M equals G divided by 2. Isn't M equals G divided by 2 the exact same thing as G times 1/2? It is. Because G could be G over 1, and that would say G times 1 is G. 1 times 2 is 2. G over 2. If you don't understand that, please don't panic. We will get to there someday. We will get through algebra eventually. Algebra is one of my most favorite things about math. Okay, I love solving for variables. If you were at the open house, you remember I had that variable thing taped underneath the desk for the scavenger hunt. These are variables, and they are so much fun. But we'll get there eventually, okay? Don't worry if that didn't make sense. Okay, model it. Double the number line. So this model it is just showing you how you could have solved this problem instead using a number line, except for I think they gave you some different numbers. There is a proportional relationship between the area of a wall. Okay, so they're using a whole different example. Let's go ahead and do this one. There is a proportional relationship between the area of a wall and the amount of paint needed to cover it. What is the constant of proportionality for that relationship? So based on this, first of all, I'd go find the unit rate. A unit rate means that there's a 1 of something, right? I see a 1. What that unit rate says is that for every 1 gallon of paint, I need 400, for every 400 square feet of wall, it's going to take 1 gallon of paint. Okay? That's my unit rate. What is the constant of proportionality? Well, the constant of proportionality is usually the unit rate. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the constant of proportionality is 400. Okay? What that means is now I can take the unit rate, which is 400 to 1, and I can go solve for any of these problems, okay? So for example, what if the next thing on my number line said 2? 2 gallons of paint would be how much? Well, I know 1 gallon is 400, so wouldn't the next one be 800? And you can solve that by taking 400 times 2. I can find any number now of gallons and find out how much wall that'll cover. How about 8? If I have 8 gallons of paint, how much wall will that cover? Well, simple. Just take 8 times 400. Okay? 8 times 4 is 32. Add 2 zeros. So it would cover 3,200 square feet of wall. Use the constant of proportionality to write an equation. We're going to say W is wall, and we're going to say G is gallons. What did I just say? I said any unknown number of gallons can be multiplied by 400, and we would find the square foot. So let's say instead of an 8, let's change that to W for, for wall. Paint. Sorry, paint. So we'll say it's G for gallons of paint. You times it by 400, and that's how you will find how much wall. Okay? Basically, we're just solving these problems by first finding the unit rate, and then after we solve it by finding the unit rate, then we can make really cool equations. These equations are like keys, okay? It's a key to finding any number of wall area I want. Sorry guys, I keep doing that instead of hitting the back button. Okay, so let's say I want I want to buy 5 gallons of paint. I would put a 5 where the G is, and then it would be 5 times 400. And then I would find out how much wall it would cover, which would be 2,000. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at number 3. Okay, it looks like we only have 3 and 4 left, and that's it. Do the table and the double number line show the same constants of proportionality? How can you tell? So remember, my constants of proportionality can be solved by asking a simple question. How do I get from here to here? Well, 5 times 8 is 40. Now can I use times 8 and get the answers down here? 3 times 8 is 24. That works. 1 times 8 is 8. That works. So the constant of proportionality for this one is 8. You take your number of mugs, you times them by 8, and you'll get your cost. Let's check on this one. How did I get from here to here? Well, I multiplied it by 8. How did I get from here to here? Well, I can also multiply that by 8. How about this one? 6 times 8 is 48. So I'd say the constant proportionality of this one is 8 as well. I can take my number of mugs, M for mug, times it by 8, and I will get my cost. So, are they the same? Yes. How can you tell? They have the same equation. Of mug times 8 equals cost. That's your answer for this one. Number 4. Use any model you want to show a proportional relationship with a constant proportionality of 4. Well, that's easy. I'm just going to take x times 4 equals y. You guys, I'm literally not even solving this. I'm just making up some equation that shows that I can take a number x, multiply it by 4, and get y. Okay? It's kind of silly, but that's how you do number 4. Okay, that is our last page, so please scan page 54, put it in your homework, and hit submit. We will do the green pages 55 and 56 in class tomorrow. All right, thanks 7th graders. Don't forget to submit this homework. Bye.